All right, a very good evening to everybody. Well, I don't know, early morning, depending on where you are out there in the great universe. What was that? What was that line in Star Trek 4 when Scotty, they need to build the tanks for the whales. They time traveled in the Klingon bird of prey back to 20th century Earth, San Francisco. And they're in they find a place that can manufacture. They use I think it's called PlexiCorp was the name of the place, and it says found this guy that had this warehouse factory, doctor something, and he goes, it was they broke up into groups. It was Scotty and McCoy working together. It was kind of a cool thing you generally don't see. The way it was, they had it figured out. Kirk was with Spock, Uhura was with Chekhov, and McCoy was with Scotty. And he goes, what, what he told, I forget exactly the line. It was kind of a technical thing. He goes, how big, how thick would the glass would have to be to contain this amount of water, in this area? He goes, oh, that's easy. That's like 6 inches. We have that stuff in backstock. He goes, well, what if I told you that I could manufacture the same thing holding that amount of water and be only 1 inch thick? He goes, you're joking. He gets on the computer, but before he goes, I traveled millions of miles, thousands of miles. People are laughing. It's really, really good. It's true, they traveled millions of miles, but it's point is that what people think, like you don't know who you're talking to, and that leads me into the discussion of the topic of the threat of perceived danger. Okay, now I was listening to a radio a little bit, and they were talking about the control of trying to get guns out of the hands of dangerous people. I'm all for that. I have no problem with that, but that is, you have to understand, we talk about term a vague term, what is considered a dangerous person. Okay, that's a vague term, and it's like, if with me trying to do pickup, it's a woman's with another guy, and you're trying to do pickup, you are looked at as a dangerous person. You are. You're a threat. Now, again, you don't know the situation. I mean, it's not any. I told you, women can be with guys. Guys can be homosexual. So it's like a friend with a woman. It could be a boyfriend with a woman. It could be what about a bisexual? That's the guy that does both with the woman. Okay, what about a regular husband? What about a regular boyfriend? What about a brother, a cousin, or something? You don't know. You don't know. Okay, and the problem is the society brainwashes you to believe if a woman is walking with a guy, you can't try. You can't try. There's no law. But I can assure you that you ask any other guy, oh, she's with somebody, then it's over. It's hands off. It's hands off. Can't try. And who says you can't try? Who says? What law says you can't try? There is no law. Okay? Society says you can't try. Society says you can't try. And you go along with society. Okay? Because if you try, Something wrong with you. You're dangerous to whoever, them or her or whatever. Dangerous? Who told you? Who came up with that? It's a society thing. I'm not dangerous. Well, how are they supposed to know? Well, that you have to give me to introduce myself and to tell you. Well, they don't want to get to know you. Well, how do you know? You're speaking on the look. Let me tell you something. Okay, let's go a little further into this. You go and apply for a job, right? Let's say you go and apply for a job. How would you like if you filled out an application or resume, send your resume, and you're going to hand it in, and the manager just took one look at you and said, you know what? I'm not interested in getting to know you. But you didn't even see my resume. You didn't see. I'm sorry, I'm not interested. You're dangerous. Do you see how ridiculous? It wouldn't even give you a chance to even try. So you don't know if she's single. You don't know what's going on with her. You don't know anything. That's all you know is you're looking at her and you're attracted. And everybody's trying to shoot you down, telling me that, no, they don't want to be bothered. Who says? How do you know? Do you know her? Maybe the guys. And I hate that. I hate when the guys speak on her behalf. Sorry, she's not interested. Can she please tell me? You're the decider of her? You control everything that she thinks and does in life and everything? And if a guy is a real dominator, he'll go, yes, I do. If he's a very powerful person and she's like a sub, which there are plenty of women out there that are under the command of the man, like he is powerful. He owns a house, he's a Lamborghini, whatever. Then you are biting off more than you can chew with people like that. But you should not be afraid. You should not be afraid, and you are afraid. I'm afraid, okay? All right? I'm scared. Why do you think I started this channel? Because I'm fighting an uphill battle against everything. The current, the force of society is trying to push against me, okay? For trying to do something a little bit different. It's not dangerous, okay? I come in peace. I come in peace. I know, I'm not going to say that to women. It sounds ridiculous. I know. But think about that, what that really means. Think about that, what that really means. You're trying to do things a little differently, and it's an unaccepted in society by the majority of most. But then they tell you in life to be bold. Go after, be bold, you know? The victor, the spoils, are given to the bold people in life. And you're bold, and then what happens? Fucking guys trying to get you the fuck out of there. And I'm not talking about just at night, whenever. Now I came home from the gym. I was just drenched. I mean, my shirt was fucking soaked. To show you, hold on. Fucking thing. Sorry. My pants, my sweats and everything. It's fucking soaking wet, Can't even see, It's hard to see from the light, Soaking wet. I just, sometimes I like to show some things to talk, makes it feel like I'm just not going on and on, because some things, when you show things and you kind of relate the visuals to, what you're saying and what you really are passionate about or what you mean. Okay, so anyway, yeah, coming home from the gym, I was walking, and there was a woman. She was really well done up. There's a lot of high-end restaurants around where I live, and there was some guy with it. And the problem is your mind. You try to like size this guy up and say, well, is it that you? That's the problem. Social conditioning. The social conditioning. You don't know. Again, I just told you it could be one of a million. It can't be a million things, but it could be one of like. Generally, it's one of 10 things. Okay, it's a gay friend. It could be a bisexual guy that or a guy that hoping to get laid by her. It could be since a regular boyfriend. It could be a husband. They could be out on a first date. Somebody trying. It could be a cousin. Could be a brother. It could be old enough. Could be a father. I mean, it's somebody. It's somebody, right? But in your mind, you're just thinking husband or boyfriend is what you're thinking because it's social conditioning. It's social brainwashing. Because what happened was, I basically verbal, like when all my trying over my life and trying, it's like social beating it into my head saying, no, you can't try. No, you can't try. No, you can't try. No, she's with somebody you can't try. No, you can't try. Okay? Society pounds it into your head. And how did I come to this? How did I, come up with all this? Because I decided to challenge that. So it beat me to my knees and kept me there. And I said, no more. No more. I said, I'm going to stand up. It started about a month ago when I was picked on. That's when I started channel. And I said, I'm going to challenge everything. I'm going to challenge everything. Whatever everybody's telling me, and if it's not a law, okay? Remember, I know I keep saying this. I'm not talking about breaking the law or anything like that. But if it's possible, you can do, and there's no law against it. Who's stopping you? It's suspicious. I like that. I love when they do that. They throw that one out. All suspicious activity is reported to the authorities. Well, guess what? Go ahead then. If you think what I'm doing is dangerous and suspicious, okay? You have the full right to your paranoia and whatever. You know what Rosa Parks did? Was that suspicious what she did? Okay? I mean, I'm not comparing what I'm doing to Rosa Parks, but I'm saying that, it's like the societal, like they say you can't do this, you can't do. What do you mean? Why? I'm not encroaching. I'm not harassing. I'm not doing any. Why can't I? How do I know? I'm not a clairvoyant, psychic, or a mind reader. Now, I know it sounds so easy when I'm talking about this. Go and try to do that for yourself and feel the force against you. Okay? You want to feel real fucking pain and real, like, a society pushing against you? Go ahead and go up and try to talk to a woman that's with another guy, okay? And see what happens. And do it a couple times. You're going to get a lot of random responses, and they're all not going to be like in your favor. Because it's fucking hard, okay? Now, this one walked by me. She was really well done up. I was in a soaked sweat, walking home and everything like that. But in my mind, it's like, yeah, I got to get home. I got to take a shower. I look like shit. But in my mind, I don't care. It doesn't matter when, where, or what whatever. You should be, when you feel you should try. Because you never know. You're not catching me at my best. Took that from Star Trek 4 too, I think. But the thing is that she walked by, and then I got to say something. And I said it. I didn't say it very loud, but I said it kind of to myself, so the universe would hear. And it was a little brazen. Here's what I said. I said, one day, I'm gonna be a successful man, and I'm gonna get to fuck a woman like that. That's what I said. Exactly to those words. And if she would have turned around and said, well, what are you telling me? If you listen to what I said, I didn't say you specifically. I said a woman like you. And that's important. That's important because when you say it, you mean it, and you want the universe to hear it. I want her to hear it too, because I wanted them to hear a little something a little different. Okay? I will not go quietly into the deep dark night. Okay? I will die eventually. Everybody does. But most people will suffer a life of quiet desperation. Okay? I know a guy who was already looking up suicide methods. I haven't heard from him in years. I think he moved to Asia and stuff like that, but he was very similar, on the same page as me. But like we talked, we tried to do pickup, going out and trying to do this kind of stuff. We were on the same page. He even hired Mystery for like a week to take him out an infield and do stuff. What happened? It kind of like the magic wore off after a week, and he just kind of went back to his old depressed, very difficult to hook up with women. You're by yourself. You're a lone wolf. It's very hard. It's very hard by yourself if you're not a celebrity or somebody of power. And if you're somebody of status and you got friends, it doesn't apply. None of this applies to you. Okay? And if you have a lot of money and you're not getting your needs met, then I have 3 words to say to you, and listen to them very, very carefully. Shame on you. You have money and you're not getting your needs met. You're a fucking idiot if you're not. That's like saying you have all the tools to build anything you want and you don't want to do it. Believe me, you know how. You don't want to. There's a difference. And it's a very rare to find. There's people that are misers out there. That's a sickness. My ex-girlfriend, she was a miser. She is a miser. She'll never find anybody. I don't care. She's irrelevant. Could have an incredible life, but she just will not spend a fucking penny. And then she used the validation that the only reason I have is because I don't spend. I go, no, it's not true. The reason that you have is because you made good real estate deals and you snowballed it. You snowballed your fortune. Okay, not because you're a fucking miser. No kids, no nothing. She's going to be married. She's going to get another little dog, and that's going to be the one she's going to be dominating over. And I don't know. I'm sorry. I hold the contention that most women, they get dogs because they need something to control. For the most part. It's love. It's, whatever, responsibility. But it's a control also. It's a power. Sit. The corner. Tell them. The corner. Why the dog needs this? It's sitting and it's not going anywhere. It's like a command you. Do what I say. What? A woman's going to command me? The fuck? I know it's easier said than done, I guess, but I would hate that. I wouldn't like that at all. I've had some women try to do that. But then when you start paying, then they do what you say. Then the coin, the flip seat is reversed. The power is reversed. Power in me. Rise of Skywalker. You got to make this fun. You got to make it fun. When I was training today, I always say that when I'm doing my kicks, I'm doing my shit, dude. Make it fun. Make it fun. I know the pain is unbelievable sometimes, and I'm doing these, God, body at 47 years old, trying to stay in absolute first class condition and everything. Jeez. And then going out there trying to do pickup during the day and at night. Jeez. Not getting nothing. It's like, getting pounded all the time. No. She's with somebody. She's not interested. I'm on the phone. Go away. I'll take your card and I won't call you. What else? There's a million and one things now keeping you from getting, that not going to get you. Jeez. Fuck. Man. I know. It sounds like I'm complaining and everything, but I'm not. When you're open and honest, that's not complaining. That's just, you trying to figure out like a solution to something that is perceived to be incredibly difficult. I think things can be difficult there's some guys out there, this is like nothing for them. They can go up to any woman they want and they can get any woman they want, just about. I'm sure everybody's been rejected. Even James Bond said, I remember in the movie, was it Pierce Brosnan and James Bond? He goes, "Can't win them all," like I know it's a movie, I know whatever, but the point is that like there's people that generally they can get just about whatever they want. Okay, they hold all the cards. They hold, they'll figure it out. They'll get into the woman's mind so quickly and so fast. It's okay. What do you need? What are you trying to do? Like, I'll get you wherever you need to go. That's what power does. That's what power and leverage does. What do you think? Like who's that guy? That Harvey Weinstein, whatever. That fucking pig that did that shit to those women. Well, those women allowed it to happen. Okay, I'm sorry. They didn't know. You know what? They wanted to like get in the movie business and stuff like that, and they were willing to take it, whatever. And it's not. I'm not. Of course, it's wrong. Of course, but do you see how like there's rotten people out there that can use that power to manipulate and take advantage of people? It's wrong. But it goes on a lot more than you can possibly imagine. His was just brought out into the open, And I don't like learning about any of that shit because it makes me sick. I don't like hearing about that shit. Jeez. Or that other fucking retard, Epstein or whatever, that island. Jeez. Unbelievable. Fuck. Ridiculous, Why? I have a theory. Don't even get me started with Michael Jackson. Don't even get me started with that. Because those people of that extreme wealth like that, to them it's like, I don't know, but those examples, they have the power and the leverage to make like their twisted reality a reality. Unfortunately. Or they did. And they're dead and they should be. As they should be. Epstein, Michael Jackson, whatever. I respected him as a tremendous artist. He shook the world, But the unfortunate reality is the unfortunate reality. If you've seen Leaving Neverland, I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. Okay? Problem is, you have two types of people out there when they watch stuff like this. Generally, the sheep, the fans that like, oh no, he didn't know, there's no way, and I have a friend that even he was in his house. Michael was in his house, but he couldn't do that. He's an innocent guy. How do you fucking know? Were you in his bedroom? Were you behind the closed doors? Do you know anything? How do you, well, I hung out with him and everything. So what? So what? That doesn't mean you know everything of everything. You don't. You think you know in your little mind. You think you hung out with him for a week or something like that, going and him looking in your store and stuff like that. You think you know him? Even if you're on his ranch, don't matter. Everybody thinks like they all want to boast and make him sound like you're bigger than you are. Oh yeah, I knew him, kind of thing. What do you mean? So what? You don't think you hung out with something like that? And then the generic fan. He was innocent. No. He would drink hot milk in bed with them. He would never do anything to hurt them. How do you know what's going on in his mind, in his perception of what he thinks love is? Okay? You don't know. You don't know. And if you have a closed mind, like most of those people do, like most of the fans that the fans that just stand behind him, like they stand behind him, or he could, he's innocent, he's innocent. Then you are closed fucking minded. You are fucking closed minded, narrow and closed minded, like most sheep out there. And this guy, this director that made this movie, this documentary, he gave those guys a platform. That movie, I think, won an Academy Award for Best Documentary. I think it was best documentary that year. Wade Robson, and then what they look at, then what happens is, everybody, they try to gang up on those guys. They try to gang up on them and let's analyze and look for flaws in their story. Jimmy Safechuck says that that's in 1996, what year, whatever, 93. That Michael molested him in the train station. Oh, but the train station wasn't built till 94. Oh, he must be lying. Yeah, whatever. And then a case closed, right? A fucking little kid. You think he's gonna remember exactly like what year it was? He was 7, 8 years old or whatever. And then Wade Robson, there's undeniable facts that these kids were hanging out with him, okay? When they were like 7 years old or whatever, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, whatever. There's pictures, proof, video of everything. So automatically, it's like, oh no, he just was innocent hanging out with these boys and everything like that. They all brush it off, like there's no way he could do that kind of stuff. There's no fucking way. Okay? You don't look at the narrative, you don't understand. Don't you think a man, he has balls, right? He's got to get off, Everybody has their taste of what they like. Okay? Jeez. You're not understanding. You're hoping. You're hoping it's not true. You're hoping this whole thing, it's a no. Because your mind is not open. And then that fucking lawyer guy, I would see him walking around all the time. The guy with the white hair, Mesereau, whatever. One of the sharpest fucking, lawyers out there. Of course, he's going to get the best. And then he's going to defend him as hard as he can. He says, I know Michael, I know him. He could never do anything. No. Those guys are trying to make money. You don't think that a fucking lawyer like that knows word trickery, knows exactly how to defend properly if there's a way to the maximum efficiency that you're not going to be able. And that's what he did. That's what he fucking did. He put up a wall, against those kids. He used everything they said again, made sure, like, no, there's no way, none of this is getting through. None of this is all inadmissible. Nothing. And I know you want my opinions on it, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, okay? You make up your own mind what you think, okay? I told you I respect him as an artist. He was like my hero in the 90s. I chased the guy all around Los Angeles, okay? All around. I was the only person hanging outside his condo in Century City, okay? The only person, night after night after night after night, okay? So you don't tell me I'm not a fan or something. Because I wanted to meet him more than anything. I'm just trying to imply that the world's not what you think it is. You think that whatever you see in the movies and television, that's it. You're going to come up with your own answer, and that's all. You had to be in the court, like I was in Santa Monica. I was there. You got to do your own research and read books and try to figure out all these people. Like, okay, what's going on here? I got to know everything of everything before I make a decision. I don't know everything of everything in that case. But if you put it all together, little by little, it starts to add up and it doesn't look good. Because your mind wants to believe something. You don't understand the reality. And more importantly, you do not understand his reality. I was never able to talk with him in depth or anything, but just get some autographs. He decides. He decides who gets to meet him or not. Okay? And he was like, there was nobody like that guy. Nobody. And there'd be nobody ever like him, ever. It's tough, you know, it's a very disturbing thing to talk about. There was an underground book that was written by Victor Gutierrez. Okay? Not many people knew about it. This was talked about in the late 90s already. Before the case with Brett Barnes and Wade Robson. Wade Robson came out a little later, but Jordy Chandler was the main case. Okay? When you have a sickness, what is considered a sickness, and it's not addressed, it has a tendency to get worse and worse and worse. Okay? And he didn't seek to get any help for it, in my opinion. In my opinion. And that's why I believe that he had to do himself in. He had to. He didn't have a choice. Because he got away twice after 2 court cases. And if it had gone any further, it would have been another one. And he would have went down. You can only buy yourself out of, you know, it's eventually the law is going to win. Okay? And even in his mind, in his warped mind, what he might consider it's love and everything, it doesn't matter. There's laws. Okay? 18 years old. There's plenty of gay people, you know. There's not. It's they're allowed. Yeah. 18 years old is considered an adult. You're allowed to have consensual sex. But that's not what I believe he was attracted to. He had, you know, warped mind. And I really don't know. I don't know, like, what, I don't study, like, you know, pedophilia or NAMBLA. You know, I've heard of that too. The weird, you know, I don't know anything about this. I don't care. But, you know, he just was, I think he had a real problem. And more importantly, I think the parents had the problem. Letting their kid sleep in a bed with a guy even in his 30s. And then he would give the money to the women, to the mothers, to go shopping or whatever. It's a payoff. And he loaned money to Jimmy Safechuck's parents, mom, so they could get, like, buy a house in Simi Valley or whatever. And then once, you know, Jimmy Safechuck was staying over with Michael, then he said, oh, don't worry, you don't have to pay me back anymore. She sold her kids out, sold her kid out. Same with Wade Robson. It's the same story. He was a little kid doing Michael Jackson impersonation and stuff in Australia. And he came to America, you know, and basically was able to, you know, parents said, help, it's my kid, and you were feeding that guy. I hate that word predator, but you know, it's like I don't, you know, I don't believe Michael was like a dangerous person, but again, like a warped kind of mind. It's just not. It's abnormal, you know. It's the parents' fault for allowing to bring the kids, you know, to him. I don't know, you know. It's just it's just a very difficult thing, you know, because here's a guy like you respect as an artist that you know shook the world. It's so exciting and entertaining, and his beautiful music and dancing, and you know the whole. It's so fucking cool, you know, everything he did. But then you say, what? You know, he did that. Who did what? Oh my god! Jeez. That's why you know, some things are not so simple. You can't. It's not like one way or the other. And it's just like 9/11. When I do the 9/11, my opinion I give you all the things about this. You're going to see the similarities between what I consider the same thing between, you know, the Michael Jackson, the things that what you think and what generally is the truth. The truth, it's exposed. Eventually, things come out. Now, I don't know about JFK. I don't know anything really about that. The assassination, I don't know. Okay, very in-depth topic that you need to be heavily researched and be passionate about. I don't know. I'll do UFOs one time too. I promise you. I promise you I'll do UFOs. Very, very complex. Very complex. Not that simple. You know, I mean it's you know, because your brain is wired to movies like Men in Black, Independence Day, War of the Worlds, V, Star Wars, Star Trek, Come in Peace, whatever. I don't know. They Live, you know, cute movie. They Live, John Carpenter, Roddy Piper. Met him before. I am here to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of bubblegum. I couldn't say it with a straight face at the end. This is great. He's the best. He was the best. He was you know, made him the best. The best heel. The best heel. What made Roddy Piper the best bad guy, the best heel, was that number one, the only person that Hulk Hogan never beat him. Okay? Never pinned Roddy Piper in a singles match. That's number one. Did WrestleMania 1. Piper and Orndorff. And was also Cowboy Bob Orton, I think. He was part of the thing against Mr. T and Hogan. But that's not the most important thing. Roddy Piper was it was just a great performer in the ring. But what takes him over the top, being the best heel, best bad guy, was his communication skills, was his talking. There's absolutely nobody that can match him. There is no one. I mean, it was like opening up, like turning on that machine, that circular saw thing. It was like Robin Williams, he could just go. He could just go. And Roddy Piper could just go. There's nobody that could touch. There's nobody that can do that. I've seen them all. I've seen and I've heard them all. As far as heels, as far as bad guys, there's nobody. For the time of I can't 20th century, because the problem is there were other wrestlers. I'm well aware of Bruno Sammartino, but that's, I'm talking about if you take from the 70s to, all through the 80s into the 90s, close to 2000, before the Attitude Era came in. There's nobody that could talk like Piper. I don't care. Ric Flair. I never thought he was anything anyway. I think he was completely overrated. Okay, to consider him the greatest. No. Okay, Hogan shook the world. Everybody didn't even know about big time wrestling or WWE, WWF. They knew who Hulk Hogan is. Everybody knows who Hulk Hogan is. It's that popular. And what would Hulk Hogan be without having somebody to beat? You're only kind of as good as like your enemies, right? Like who in a movie, right? Every good guy, there has to be a bad guy. Every superhero, there has to be a bad guy. That's the point. That's like who is he protecting? Who's he fighting? There's got to be somebody to like try to defeat him. And Roddy Piper was that somebody. And that's why Hulk Hogan is so great, because of people like Roddy Piper. I got to meet him before he passed at a book signing, at a Borders book signing. He kind of grabbed the belt. I remember I tried to talk to him afterwards. It was, he gave me a compliment because I was bodybuilding at that time. It's a real nice thing. He said, "Wow, geez, a compliment from somebody like that. You never know whose life you touch. I think he said that too, not to me, but I've heard him say, you never know whose lives you touch." Sure, really interesting. Wow. I mean, in my opinion, I never cared for Stone Cold Steve Austin. I thought he was just, but he's like that middle America, hickish.
Let me tell you something, I'll drink beer, I'll kick your ass, and do whatever it takes. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
He's just a nut. There's this.
You damn near I don't trust anybody except for damn myself.
It's like this hickish Texas, but I guess the McMahon, he's smart. He knows, like, it says, well, a lot of people are going to relate to this in the Middle America. They're going to relate to this guy.
He says, I'm gonna drink beer, I'm gonna kick ass, and that's the bottom line.
It's just kind of. I know it's stupid. But I never cared for that guy. I thought he was just I didn't, because it's kind of weird. Like, he's like an asshole, right? But then everybody, he's like the good guy. It's a weird, it's a weird dynamic, and that's what I guess McMahon said. Look, we got to change this company up here because we're going to phase out. If we don't, we got to do something a little different. And that's the genius that he has. He's like the P.T. Barnum, of the modern times. And look, he created all this. He came up. He was a visionary. Came up with this, got the company off of his dad, and and built it into this now his daughter and the great Triple H, is at the helm. One day, you know, it'll be all theirs. It's a matter of time. Um, it's funny because she comes out like that mean kind of, kind of thing, and that's tribute to her dad, that kind of like the boss kind of thing, Um, The Rock, he's one of those guys too that came up. I like his he's got some interesting lines. I listen. It's kind of cute the way he talks and his attitude kind of thing. Um, it's always been kind of like liked by the crowd. But look at this. I mean, these guys are not. These are big guys, man. There's good genetics. He's like half black, half Samoan. Like whatever. And just charismatic. Get up there again. Yes. With the eye of the people. And it's just the way that. Yeah, man. You have to understand something. The look is really important. How you talk is very, very important. And then how you perform is important. So can you imagine? You got to have all three, everything. It's not just you got to be a character, but that's a vague statement. Oh, you got to be a character, but it's much more than that. It's how you're relating to the people. It's like either they got to really love you or they got to really, really hate you. And you would think, oh, they hate me, then I'm not going to make. No, but you don't understand something. If they really hate you, that means they're coming to watch you, and that means they're paying, and that means there's somebody that they really love. So you see, you're creating a balance. You're an asset. I know it's a dumb thing. You would think, oh, they hate me, stuff like that. Yeah, but that means you're good. I know it's isn't it interesting? Interesting psychology. They could all boo you, but but in a way, that's saying they respect you. I'll give you an example. The Kurt Angle. I covered everybody but him. The great Kurt Angle. If there's anybody out there, like in the past 20 years, he recently retired. I mean, this guy is definitely the most underrated, underappreciated, not given nearly enough credit for his contributions to this show. No. Okay. I mean, I think he should be in Hollywood. I think he should have been pushed. It's a very, very creative, one hell of a performer as far as like being able to wrestle. The way that this guy would talk. I mean, you got a real Olympic gold medalist, right? So you would think everybody, yeah, America and everything. But he did something that was unheard of. He would get the crowd to hate him. It's huh? That's the magic. That's the magic. It's a farce, like to get that what? The guy is an Olympic now. When he won the Olympics in the '96, okay, America, but that was real, right? But then McMahon said, okay, what can we do here? Bring this guy in, but there's got to be something different. He's got to be kind of like fucked in the head kind of thing where he's using reverse psychology on people. And that's what they did. He came out with this really cool song, a really cool entrance theme. And then it says, you suck. You suck. The whole crowd. You suck. What do you mean I suck? What the hell's the matter with you people? I won Olympic gold medal '96. You people are a bunch of fucking idiots. See, the creativeness. There's a creative. That's my point. To get all the people to hate you. But you see, they don't hate you. They actually love you. It's an amazing thing. An amazing thing. John Cena, was not really well received, anything, even though McMahon, but they said, no, we're going to build this guy. He did. What's your point with all this? Well, It's not one point, it's one of many points. I talk about actors that got a push and everything like that. McMahon basically gave these people an outlet, become something. When I was bodybuilder, I tried to. I just wasn't what he wanted. I tried. I could tell. I was standing next to him at the press conference in WrestleMania 20, and he wouldn't look twice. These guys are big guys. There are exceptions. Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho. Got a picture with him. Hold on. Patience is always good in life, right? Patience is always good. Not too much patience, right? But just a little bit sometimes, since we were talking about things that are kind of important. A little bigger than him, huh? I had dreams too. Yep. So anyway, I like to do that sometimes, you know. What happened? Wound up trying to get big naturally, and the body just kind of wouldn't accept it. I wound up having kidney stone surgery. It only goes so far. Your body can only, it has its threshold to how far you can push things. I wore glasses too at the time. I got laser eye surgery after. But a lot of these guys started when they were fairly young. And of course, they're all on something. You have to be. You have to be. You can stand next to a fucking guy like John Cena. He's 6'1", 245. Like, when I say pretty solid, I'm talking about like bodybuilding pretty solid. It's a fucking big motherfucker. His hands like a fucking baseball mitt. I shook it. I know. I was next to it. It was a giant. And even in my picture at my peak, I still look real small compared to him. I was like a diamond. And this guy came out, you know, like just with his shirt on or whatever. And I was like, fuck. Jeez. I was like close to 200, like solid. Still, it was not bad. I mean, my arms were fucking, they were saying like Big Papa Pump. Not quite, but, you know, as far as you could go naturally, I was there. I was at 99.999% of my body's capability of how far you could push it. I was there. I could not go any further without any help. No way. And I chose not to. I chose not to. It was anabolics. It's crazy. That's like you know, comparing a firecracker to an atomic bomb. Taking a little, you know, whatever, Andro or SARMs maybe even or something. But just anabolics are real hard shit, real growth hormone, as much as those guys are taking. I could tell when I meet them. I know what they're taking. I could look at somebody. I could tell you. But it's not all that. These guys like Chris Masters never really got a good push for whatever reason. Because the boss decides. It's his show. Well, it's a his show. Big show, you know. I know I got off topic. I mean, yeah, I was passionate about it, you know. And I thought maybe I could be a writer for the company. They wouldn't listen to me. Sometimes you got to know when it's over. You got to be okay with that. You got to move on. You cannot spin your wheels your whole life and talk about the past. I do it sometimes. I show it just to make reference, but I live in the now and I focus on the future. Okay? That's what's important. And that's why I started this channel. I started this channel to help myself. It's important. Try every day to do a little bit. Try every day to better yourself by attacking your fears and making improvements. You don't have to be a psycho like Dave Goggins, run 100-mile marathons, and do 1,000,000 push ups and do all that kind of stuff. It's a little too crazy. You know, he could drive himself physically right into the ground. I know that's incredible mental tenacity and strength, but it's also kind of protracted suicide because again, your body, you know, like his mind is more powerful than his body by far, which is incredible. But again, it's a rare anomaly. It's some dude that he was like a Navy SEAL. Like, you know, those guys are killers. They're Spartan, modern day Spartan warriors. You know, like that's what it is. Physical, you know. But it's good to be like 50% physical, and then the other half mental. Remember, those Greek people, they were educated. They were, I know they could fight, they'll tear you apart, but they're educated. They're not dumb bruisers. They know their history, and they know about philosophy and psychology and the world, and it's an amazing thing. Everything. That's dangerous. That's the real, what I consider, the word dangerous needs to be rewritten. It needs to be redescribed. It implies when you say somebody's dangerous, you're implying that they deserve to be incarcerated. They need to be like taken out of society. That's what dangerous means. I say it needs to be, the term needs to be redefined. It should be redefined. And it should mean somebody that's, an incredible, somebody that's really challenging themselves to become better because they're not fitting into the norm. Wow, that guy's like, yeah. So in a way, he is dangerous, but it's a good dangerous. You know, like it's not. He's not trying to hurt any. It's not about hurting anybody. It's like that word threat. If you're becoming like a better person than a normal than the sheep, you are a threat to them because they it's like, wow, he's taking from me. Yes, yes. The best is the guy with the most. The best is the guy with the most in all walks of life. What movie? What movie did I take that from? That line. It's hard. It's very. You get that one. If you get that line, you pause this. After I tell it's live, and you leave this thing on, and you know what that line is from. Listen to it at 30 seconds. The two lines that I read. One guy said it in that order. The best is the guy with the most. The best is the guy with the most in all walks of life. If you get that one, you really are, because that movie, not many people know what that's from. I'll tell you what it's from. It was said by Paul Newman. He reprised the role, the Felicity Felson in The Color of Money with Tom Cruise. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio was in that. Tom Cruise and Paul Newman. And Forrest Whitaker was in that too, just getting a start as an actor. 1986, I think it was. Anyway, there's truth in that, though. There's truth in that. You know, the guys get the most beautiful women, whatever. It's like the most. I don't know. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, though, right? But our society shows us what we should consider to be a beautiful woman. Like said, J-Lo, Angelina Jolie, you know, was it Beckinsale? Is Kate? Who are these people? I don't watch any of this stuff. I'm gonna I know. I'm gonna conclude with something movie related because that's what I saw when I left the gym today. I walked by, there was like a small movie theater. And I guess there's a premiere for the Black Widow movie. Now, if you go back a couple episodes and you listen to what I talked about, they show you the giant poster with the chick on there with the red hair, you know, in a white form-fitting bodysuit. Nice, you know, great body. And this angry look on her face. Like with the swords or whatever. I don't know. You know, I pretty much, I know a lot about comics, but I don't know about that one. Don't know everything of everything. Sorry. And I said, you know, I talked about it. I said, who they pitching this message to? Young, trying to show young women, yeah, go and fight, go beat up guys. You know, I don't know. I mean, it could be taken as subliminal advertising or something. I don't know. I just think there's a bigger message because Disney owns Marvel. And, you know, you have to understand something. If you go back to earlier episodes, I think everything has a purpose and a meaning. They don't make movies for no reason. They make money. Yeah, but you have to, like, get in people's minds. And these people, they know how to do this. And they do shit that you might not understand. Through certain frequencies, through certain things. I could talk about that. I don't really know all about it, but you know, in music, they can use certain frequencies that might affect you differently. So I feel they might do the same thing in a movie. So my point is that I was walking by the movie theater and there was a guy dressed up like the Black Widow, like the chick. And he was kind of like flamboyant and stuff like that. And I didn't even bother looking. I saw him in a you know, peripheral, you know, I didn't want to give it attention because I know that's what it wanted. He wanted attention. And it just, you know, in my mind, it just said to me, what the fuck is going on? You know, like the men want to be women, you know, and there's women want to be men. What the hell is this? What area you're in? It doesn't matter. It's what I'm seeing. When I'm going around, I'm things everywhere. And it just doesn't, like, I don't get it. I don't, it's like things are like twisted. It's like backwards kind of thing. You know, Ultimate Fighting, and there's now they push the women thing is relatively new. When Ultimate Fighting started in the late mid 90s, late 90s, I forget who was the Gracie or whatever, you know, Steve Blackman or whatever, I forget the early guys that were doing that stuff. It was about just these guys that are bruisers, you know, like martial artists, whatever, and you know, like it was Ultimate Fighting. That's all it is. And then what happened was that then they said, "Oh, let's get the women. Let's show the women fight." Huh? People are gonna what? Who wants to see that? Well, apparently a lot of people. You know. Well, they have women against the men or something, you know. But, well, the guys would beat the shit out of the professional fighters. Well, you know, they should have like maybe have like amateur guy fighters, you know, guys that aren't really good or something. They're not, you know, they're closer to that level, or I mean, I don't know. It's like I remember Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. I remember when I was a kid, that kind of thing, and I didn't think that was. I think it was stupid anyway, because you see what makes wrestling, what made it. I'm referring to the not today. I don't watch it because these characters, they don't have nothing like they used to. What made big time wrestling WWF into WWE? It wasn't the matches. What happened in the ring? It was the writing, and it was the characters, and it was the build-up. That's what made it. In Glow, no. Women's division in WWE, this is no. I didn't care about watching that. I don't care to see women. It doesn't matter. There's no story. There's no build-up. There's no nothing. Those people that I mentioned, they made it all happen. They were the glue that held the company together. It held the WWF, WWE together. Because they did it all. Even though I didn't like that guy, that Stone Cold, whatever. He still was an integral part. Anyway, that's, I'm going to conclude for now. I felt like I covered a variety of stuff. I will continue to try to help myself and address more important relative issues as they pertain to the challenges of conformity, social conformity. And I think that we are, unfortunately, we're forced to do that every day. Society pushes as hard as it can for you to stay average and for you to be normal through everything, through what I said. All suspicious activity will be reported. Yeah, well then, what's suspicious? What's suspicious? Me trying to go up and talk to a woman? Yeah. Remember I said, it's meant to beat you to your knees and keep you there if you allow it. I try to feel like this. I say to myself, I've been in prison for 47 years, and guess what? I'm free. You're free to go. Go out there and do it. That's what I say to myself whenever I go out, and try to pick up. You're free. You're free. Go be yourself. Try to be yourself in life. Gonna make some tea. And with that, I will come back when I have something more important to say. Hang in there. And try to move forward every day.